Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
You need somebody to advance that.
Yes, thank you, Jane. Perfect. Oh, no, I just need you. All right.
Sure you did.
All right, that's good to go. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Today, I'll be telling you the story of my first and so far only mentor, Amy Robertson. And there is a picture of her there. She is a beautiful lady. That was the first thing I noticed about her. She's just so beautiful, and her smile, she's not given a full smile in that picture, but I think you can tell. Her smile is infectious. So who is Amy Robertson? She was my professor for my advanced nonprofit management class in my fall of my senior year of college. So it was my second to last semester of my entire college career. And this class was a bit of a special one because there was only 5 students in it. So we got to spend a lot of one-on-one time with Amy to really get to know her and build a relationship. Right from the get-go, I was enamored by her infectious spirit, by her extreme positivity, and by her success in her career. She wasn't just an adjunct professor for the College of Business and Technology at my school. She is also the director of advancement and reports directly to the president of our university. So she is right up there with some of the top people at my school. And she had such an interesting story of how she got there, from going between North Central to a senior living center where she worked kind of back and forth between the two and grew for a couple of years there, grew for a couple of years here, and back and forth until she landed in her role that she's in now. And where I was at and why I was looking for a mentor. I was, like I said, the second to last semester of my college career, and it was about time for me to start thinking about life after college. And it felt super overwhelming, and I didn't even know where to start, and I was looking for some guidance, and seeing the success that Amy had in her career, I wanted to emulate that. And I wanted to not only emulate her success, but I wanted to see how she got her spirit. So in October of 2020, about halfway through the semester, I decided to email her, and I asked if she would be willing to be my mentor until graduation. And I proposed that we would meet monthly, where we would go over my goals, go over where I'm at, and she can kind of coach me through this thing of graduation. And luckily she accepted. You can go to the next slide. And in the first meeting that we did there in October of 2020, what she was really focused on is finding out what made me tick. And what I found was working with people with disabilities was really where my heart was led to. And so that was kind of our guiding point as we went through this whole journey of finding out what my next steps would be after graduation. Next slide. Then we continued to do our monthly meetings. Now I knew what would make me tick, but then I had to figure out what I was going to do with that, where I was going to go, what my next steps were. It still was so scary. So in these monthly meetings, she would go over things where I was at in my job search, go over where I was at in school. I was in an internship at the time, so we would talk about that. And she would also give me little homework assignments. Some examples of these homework assignments, next slide, would be quizzes on what my career might be, personality quizzes. We talked about the Enneagram. If you haven't checked it out, it's a really cool resource. We updated my LinkedIn and my resume. And so she would send me home with these homework assignments, and then the next month we would go over those and she would give me pointers, things like that. Then in February, we had our meeting and I told her about a job posting that I saw. And you can go to the next slide. And it was a role for the associate position at Beata Home Healthcare, which is a home healthcare company that serves adults with disabilities. And I was just so excited. I was like, this is just what I want to do. She helped me with the job application. And then a couple weeks later, I emailed her with some exciting news. I said, I got an interview. She was so excited with me. And she helped me prep for that interview. We did a mock interview. She gave me some tips and tricks and things like that. And then the next month I had even more exciting news. I got the job. And that is where I have been ever since. And I'm very grateful that I had her with me through that job application process. Then in our final meeting in April, we came to an end of an era. I graduated May 1st, and that was the last time that I would be able to meet with her in that sense, because I found my job, I was ready to move on, and I couldn't keep on bugging her every month and go back to North Central all the time. I had a job to get to. So with that, in the final meeting of April, we reviewed what we had gone over in the last 7 months or so. We reminisced on a school year past, and we talked about my plans for the future. It was really an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I got to do that and get to know Amy more. And this speech actually triggered me, and I was like, man, I should reach out to Amy. I miss her. So we're getting coffee next week. Thank you.
Teagan,